Hey, gun people! Alright, let's take another one. See what these cops did wrong. Okay, so these cops come up on this homeless guy. Evidently, he's camping illegally. I believe this is Albuquerque. And they have multiple cops. Again, I always try to preface these videos. We don't know what happened before. We don't know what the officer knows. We only see what's in a video that's released. And sometimes more is released and people cut it down to fit their agenda. So I'm only showing what the video shows. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so I don't know if you could hear the guy, but he said, "Don't worry about safety. I'm not a fucking murderer." And then they fire a shot. It looks like a stun or a beanbag or something just into the rock next to him, which I'm not sure why you shoot something on the ground next to him. I don't know if that was an AD or not. I mean, you've got a guy out in the open. Remember, use of force, when officers use force, it depends on the number of officers versus number of suspects, whether he's armed, whether it's daylight, whether it's night, whether you're in unfriendly territory, etc. So these cops don't have a whole lot of what I would call exigency to use more force. You have multiple cops, you have a K9, you have less than lethal weapons there, beanbag guns, and you have real guns. So the cops are pretty much set up to disengage, to do different things. Now, I mean, again, I don't know what happened before or why they're there, but it's kind of a clue that they got all these people there just for a homeless guy. I mean, you don't have a K9, a guy with a long gun, a guy with less lethal, just for a homeless call. So, again, all these people were there because of some information they knew. The risk was higher. Okay, so the guy was just shot and killed. I don't know if he died or not. It says police shoot homeless man camping. So I'm not sure if he dies or not. But there was a few errors there. I don't know if you saw. I'm going to go back. Do you hear that cop say, "Do it"? So they fired this gun, to me, for no reason. And it was more of an escalation than it was a needed tactic for officer safety. I mean, to me, the guy is standing there, he's putting on his backpack, he says, "I'm not a threat." Do it. So he fires the gun, then they release the dog. Now, whether or not they saw a weapon, whether the guy said, "I'm going to kill you," or whatever, he does have a knife in his hand once they walk up to him. So he definitely has a weapon accessible, because when he's on the ground after he's shot, it's still in his hand. So the dog kind of messes up here. Most dogs are taught to attack aggressive, fleeing, or attacking suspects. So it's a clue when you release your dog and the dog doesn't know who to attack. The dog is smarter than the human because he knows, I don't see any threatening or aggressive behavior. Why did you tell me to run out here and bite somebody? Nobody's running, nobody's attacking me, and nobody's attacking you. I'm confused. So, obviously the K9 is probably like shit. Because cops and train, we want to train to where you attack somebody standing still in case we got to attack them on somebody behind them. They're standing still, they got a gun in their hand or something, we want to release a dog and they're not being aggressive. Your dog should still hit a standing target if he was trained right. So is this a training issue on a dog? Maybe, but it also shows that the dog knew the guy wasn't being aggressive. Okay, So they released the dog. The guy's dropped his bags now. He's pissed off. They've shot at him, and I think here's where he grabs it. I think he's reaching for it now. So this officer is going to claim officer safety, or when they shoot and kill him, they're going to claim when this guy produces a knife, he's a threat to this guy. And, I mean, I know people ain't going to like this. He's right. I mean, he's less than 21 feet, and anybody with a knife, if you're closer than 21 feet, can stab you before you can stop him. And nobody wants to wait for you to kill a cop before you shoot him. So, I mean, I don't know why they was there. I don't know why they shot the gun. I don't know why they released the dog. But when they shoot him, when he produces a knife in close proximity of another officer, that force is going to be justified. Now, the facts and circumstances leading up to that can be in question. But the use of force is going to be authorized, deadly force, if you produce a knife in close proximity to an officer. Don't bring a knife to a gunfight. I mean, cops don't have to wait to get stabbed to get shot. Okay, when he raised his hand right there, I don't know if that was a knife or not, but the dog is still confused, not attacking. The guy turns around and is laying down. I'm not sure why they shot him. Now I got issues. So when he produced the knife and he was in close proximity and he was a threat, now how the cops are going to have to justify, was this guy a threat to this officer or dog when he turned his back and was laying down? Now they're going to say he had a gun. We don't know if he was faking us in. We don't know if he was about to lunge and do a ninja strike. We don't know if he was bending over to grab another weapon or a gun. Therefore, he already produced a weapon and he was a danger, and the officer used best judgment to protect the lives. He was fear of his safety, blah, 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 blah. You've heard it all before. And that can be accurate, but sometimes it can be bullshit. So, they shot him multiple times. I think this cop right here puts his gun on safety. I'm going to go back. I want you to watch this. So I think he just put his gun on safety, which tells me couldn't have been that much of a threat. If your gun's on safety now, you don't feel a threat, right? So if there's no threat, why would you shoot a guy laying on the ground and send a dog on him? Well, that's what they do. Okay, so he yells beanbag. So we have a live weapon here. We have a canine here. We have a beanbag here. We have a live weapon here. We've shot the guy multiple times. He was turning away. Shot him in the back. He's on the ground. And this officer put his gun on safe. And now they're hollering beanbag, and they shoot him with a beanbag 2 or 3 times.
Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Drop the knife!
Okay, I got news for you. When you get hit with a beanbag, you're not faking it. If you can move, you're moving. Because that freaking hurts. So, they shot him 3 times and he didn't move. Call that a clue. He's probably either not conscious or not able to move. Because when you get hit with a beanbag, you move. And cops know that. Do you want to put the dog on him? If I can get him on him. Dogs aren't taught to attack people laying on the ground. So the canine knows that he may not bite him. But sometimes we can jack him up and talk him into it and hold him back and just kind of excite that prey-kill instinct, and they'll run out there and attack. And the dog does hit him in the leg. Okay, so this canine figured it out that, hey, my dog's chewing on his leg. We've shot him with a bean bun. We shot him with real bullets, and he's not moving. Somebody caught the clue and went, this guy's probably not a threat. So he says, somebody step on the knife and I'll get my dog off. Okay, so it's clear the guy did have a knife in his hand. To me, it looked like he was turning around, bend away, and roll over. Maybe it wasn't. I wasn't there. I know the cops going to be here. Why are you so hard on the cops? Look, it's not only our right to question our government, it's our responsibility. The cops have extreme amount of power. I've always said, I know other cops always think cops need more power. We have too much power already. I mean, we can literally set somebody up, shoot somebody. We can do so much if we want to be crooked and bend the law, and that's not good. There ought to be checks and balances where cops couldn't do things illegally. There's too many checks and balances. And the fact that cops can do that means there's not enough checks and balances. I'm not advocating cops out there getting killed and not doing their job, but, I mean, look, there has to be a balance. And the cops that don't want to see that balance and just always want to take the cop sides, to me, they lose credibility. So, good, bad, indifferent. The guy has a knife. Let's say they've shot him with real bullets. They shot him with beanbags. They've sicked a dog on him. And I think somebody's going to figure out here in a minute this guy's probably dead. But who knows, you know? All right, so we'll go ahead and end that there.